October 25, 2017, and it's approximately 6 p.m. in the afternoon, and we have a open meeting of the Town of Hanson Water Department. And first thing on the list here at 6 o'clock is Mr. Greg Robelli, okay. So we're getting started right off the bat.
All right. I just figured I'll introduce myself. I'm a master plumber in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. Been doing water meters now since 2010. Our company's been in business since 2004. I've pretty much been our project manager ever since I started working for the company. I just kind of clawed my way to that position, unfortunately. And we do a lot of projects. We do mass meter replacements for some of the largest towns and cities in Massachusetts. I've personally been involved in the city of Brockton, Lowell, Lawrence, a couple of big ones, a couple of small ones too. You know, we've installed every different type of meter too, Badger, Census, Neptune. I've seen them all. I've worked with all the systems.
All right, which one's the best one?
They all have their highs and they all have their lows. But it depends upon where you're quantifying your best. I mean, if you say you want the best customer service, you definitely want the Tie Sales Neptune. If you want a two-way system, you got to go Census because they're the only one with it. So
well, I think
you can go any direction with
the
that.
The problem with Hanson right now, we've got too many different types. How many we got?
Well, there's some oldies and old AIBs, and
yep.
We have Census now, but there's no customer service to it. And every time we try to read, there's always major issues.
I'm glad I didn't say Census had good customers.
But we have, most of them are, it's about half and half, but there's a lot of touch read out there, older Rockwells and
yep.
and the like, but there's AIBs and there's just issues everywhere.
So I'm just going to try to get a feel for what you guys have and what you're aiming for, and kind of see where your pain points are, because then I can start discussing and aiming you in a direction that I think you should go.
Well, I think we were talking about Neptunes, weren't we?
Yeah, I mean,
and have one brand in the town.
I don't blame you with that. You definitely want that when it comes to both.
I don't think it's ever been done, and that's why the town's wound up with, there must be at least 3 different times
probably.
when you get right down to it.
Yeah.
So if you want to go and stick with one system, I don't blame you in the least bit. It'll make it easier on the billing end, it makes it easier for inventory, it makes it easier everywhere.
And the readers, and nowadays the technical part of it.
Absolutely.
You don't have people climbing around and reading meters anymore, so.
Exactly. So with that being said, I mean, Neptune has a great product. They really do. Their drive-by system is second to none. It's the only one on the market right now that can be a drive-by system today. Tomorrow you want a fixed base, you throw up one tower, and maybe you get 80% of your readings, just like that, hourly. That's the direction you want to go. They're the only one that does it, which I think is a great selling point in case you ever wanted to go to monthly billing or anything in the future. You have all those options of just snapping a finger.
Well, we have semi-annually, right, twice a year?
Twice a year.
Yeah.
Can help with cash flow and stuff like that too. Go 4 times a year or to monthly. It depends upon where your troubles are in town.
No, we basically haven't had too many problems in getting the money, so that, right?
Right.
So that twice a year is fine, and
Right.
you're only obligated to do it twice a year instead of tying up everybody 4 times a year.
How often do you get customer complaints on a sense of a bill? Is that a common thing or not?
Not really.
No? Okay.
Once in a while, we get one,
Yeah,
we'll get somebody that gets an $8,000 bill, they come in and complain.
The reason that I'm suggesting or immediately going towards a smaller resolution of a billing cycle, of even quarterly, is that, for example, the Neptune meter itself, the encoder register head stores 90 days worth of data. So if you build 4 times a year, you're going to be within a 90-day window of a billing. So if somebody calls and complains, you go over to their house, you download the data, you get 90 days of integral data of every hour for every day for 90 days. You get all that data, and you could show them, hey, you had a serious party here, or you filled your pool here, some event happened here, and you have that info. If you're on a 2 times a year billing cycle, you still can only get up to 90 days. So you may miss a gap between the last time you bill and then. That's why I suggest those things. That's probably one of the biggest reasons. Also, you'll get any of all the new meters have technology in them, not just Neptune, but I know Neptune's like the back of my hand is, they call them events. So if somebody cut the wire, somebody removed the register head from the meter and left it hanging, those are events, they're tamper events, and they're stored inside the register head and the MIU. And you could get them, and they'll tell you when it happened, when it was put back on, when the wire was taken apart, when it was put back together. It's all nice.
Within 90 days.
Nope, that can happen anytime during the billing cycle. Those events are cataloged. But again, if you're only catching them twice a year, it's gonna be hard to argue
pinpoint
with a
it.
customer. So if you don't have that many customer complaints, you can kind of just glance over that. Now with your current census, you have the iPro, right?
Yes.
And how do you like that?
It's still trouble.
From what?
There's, every time we go to read, there's a problem with the handhelds. They upgrade the software and don't tell us. And it sets us back weeks. And we're just tired of it.
All right, so you're just completely a customer service side.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the product.
Well, I mean, the guys have, they've stripped some of those plastic threads, so that they're not a big fan of them, but,
We have the same problem with them,
yeah.
to be honest with you. Me and my guys with a lot of strip threads and $190 a meter or whatever the heck they are. It gets expensive real quick. And if any thread is damaged, even one, and you send it back, they will just scrap it and they'll keep it. They don't even send it back to you. They don't give you any option to that whatsoever.
We just put a new
I
meter in.
made that mistake. I sent 24 back that were missing like the very first thread, when you're trying to catch a thread, and then just missing that very first thread, sent them back because they had no display on the screen as well. So it wasn't necessarily the stripped thread that was the problem, but because the threads were damaged in some way, they just scrapped them all and said, they're gone. We already disposed of them. We can't get them back, nothing. And they overlooked the fact that there was no display on them. So I've had some troubles with Census too. And if you're aiming towards Neptune, it's a great product. I mean, from our company standpoint, Tom Otto, Jim Coughlin are the two owners of our company, and Don Kubaki just retired. It's never an owner or anything. The three of them all worked for Neptune. The three of them were all part of Neptune's installation division in the 90s, and that's where they all came from. So, I mean, we have very strong roots with Neptune. We have a very good relationship. Who's your salesman? Tom Gary? Who's the salesperson down this way?
For census?
No, for Neptune.
It would be Joe Colton.
Oh, it is Joe? Okay. I have a very good relationship with Joe as well. I've known Joe for, since I started in this business. He's great. So, I mean, you do get great customer service with Thai sales. So if that's one of your biggest pain points, that's not a bad option in your least.
See, the other problem is that every year now, for the last 5 years that I've been here, they bought X amount of meters every year to replace.
Yep.
So I don't know how many are out there now. You can't get your money back on anything you bought, right?
No, I mean, we're not keeping big inventories of this breed of meter just because in case we pull a trigger and go with a different brand. I don't wanna have a ton, so we order them, like 8 to 16 at a time.
Oh, okay.
One or two
Oh,
cases.
right. How's your unaccountable water?
Right now, it's about 13%.
Oh, that's not bad. And your meter population is mostly residential, you're correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Because sometimes, getting into the large meters, testing accuracy of large meters, but that's not a huge thing here. That can be big help, very big.
Right.
That's not really a big option. And, you know, and then if you guys wanna talk about installation of meters, I don't know if you guys are, if that's what I am here.
Yeah,
That's what
no,
you're basically looking for.
absolutely.
I mean, we did the city of Brockton in 18 months, it's 23,000 meters we did in 18 months. We got into all but 146 homes in that 18 months, which I think is monumental of a project, especially in a town, in a city like Brockton. And it's right next door, you can call anybody there, they'll know my name. I was the project manager on it. And I think we did a great job, with a lot of work there, to say the least. We rebuilt 4,000 water services, they had all iron water services. We rebuilt when the stub came into the wall, cut it off there, rebuilt it with a new valve and everything. And I think it was like 40.
From the old iron pipe coming
I think
in.
it was 4,500 accounts that we did all that work to. It's a monumental amount of work. That was, everybody told me that would be a career project. And they went from 9,000 estimated reads when I first got there, out of 23,000. And they went down to 146, and those were the 146 accounts that we couldn't get into. So if you want to talk about a, you know, diligence, but I had the utmost cooperation of them, and I would commend them. They were one of the top 2 water departments that I've ever worked with.
Wait, did you do Whitman too?
I did not. I did Lowell as well.
No, what I mean, Brockton supplies Whitman with their water.
Yep, I did the 2 meters of feed equipment. I actually did them recently.
Oh, the big
mag
ones.
meters, yep.
Okay.
I did both of them for E.J. Prescott, Mike Gorman. But like I was saying, with the support of the water department is, we had their crews completely on board with the project. They supported us, we supported them. You know, going up, they were shutting off about 110 houses a day at one point, shutting their water off so that we could get in. And we were following right behind, putting the meters in when the people would call us. So we were working, you know, 12 hours a day.
How many a day?
About over 100 at one point. They had 6
Let's see, what do you got,
guys.
3,700?
Yeah, 30.
100 a day?
800, yeah.
Yeah.
Be only a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Hey, yeah, we were doing 1,800 meters a month at our peak in Brockton. So, but it's a bell curve. There's the startup of a project and there's the taper off of a project. And the 2 hardest parts of the project are those 2 tapers. That whole middle ground is cake. You'll never hear from me or see me. Right in the middle there, everything's going nice and smooth. It's getting started at the beginning is, you always get the first, people start to resist after the 3rd letter. And, you know, and then you gotta start getting out and shutting people up right there, so you set a precedence, because then they all start talking. You know, I don't know if you'd have that problem here. It's all about the demographic. You know, if you have a lot of rental properties here or something, that's when we get into.
I don't think we do, do we?
No.
Most of it's all owned or it's condos.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't have as much trouble with that. It's the rental properties that the landlord doesn't care, and the people are without water.
How do you notify the people that the meters are gonna be replaced?
We mail out 3 letters as a standard practice, each one getting progressively more firm. And then after that, we normally will throw a door card on their door and say, you know, hey, give us a call. We've notified you in writing 3 times up till today, and we put the date on the card and leave that with the customer. Just in case for some reason, like it is a rental, that way someone sees it and can call the landlord. We feel that we don't always trust the postal service. Sometimes when they gotta mail out, drop 1,000 letters in a row and have to stop at every house for 1,000 houses in a day, the mailman's not too thrilled about that sometimes. We've had them throw our letters away.
How do you gentlemen feel about it?
Well, how many leaks and callbacks did you have out of 23,000?
To be honest with you, I don't know, off the top of my head. We try very hard to keep it minimal. If I was to honestly guess, I probably had to get called back 3 times after hours in that project. But I'm, you know, no kidding, is less than 40 or 50 callbacks throughout the whole project. A couple of backwards meters, you know, the usual human error mistakes.
Can you explain a little bit maybe about the benefits of doing a mass installation versus?
Well, you'll get it all, you get it done quickly. You get it done quickly and efficiently and seasonally. The three biggest key points is we try to avoid as much as we can working in the dead middle of winter. You guys don't want to shut the water off at the curb stops in the middle of the winter.
No.
You're more likely to break something in the winter by turning a curb stop off, not even just locating it, actually operating it. And then you guys are usually busier. You're plowing, you have other duties, I'm sure. I don't know if you're actually plowing, but it's just a saying. But having a mass meter change out also will get you on a new billing cycle, and we can get you, I mean, a billing system. And we can also, with a mass meter change out, we can fall between your readings. So if you're gonna read in 6 months, we'll make sure that an entire route or routes are complete in that time frame, so that when you go to read, you're already on the new system with those complete routes. I don't know, how many routes is your city broken up into, the town broken up
We do it all at once, we don't break up.
into? So you just do,
We do everything at once.
one time?
Mhm.
So I mean, in all honesty, you could do the whole town in the 6-month window. You could say, I finished reading today, you have 6 months to get me on the new reading system. And we could get you 95% of those in that 6 months.
Yeah, because you read them, what, in August and
February.
February?
Yeah. So I would advise, start in February.
Start in February, if
Yeah.
it's done that way.
Start in February, that way any place, that
Everything should
questionable
be done by
valves or
August.
everything, exactly, would be happen in the winter, you defer them to April when it's convenient, you could hit them right away, and then you could just continue to, stay with them until August. Or being that there's half of your system is, iPearls, you could do the other half of the system first, then go back to the iPearl half of the system second. So you could do it from, May to August, and then August to November, and break it up that direction too.
What's the cost per meter if you did it in respect of us doing it ourselves?
Well, there's also a third option, is you can either have a contractor completely do everything. You sub it out completely, soup to nuts. There's a middle ground that I'm actually talking to another town about, where they're actually gonna supply me with temporary workers. They're snowplow drivers from the winter. And we're gonna start the project in April. So their snowplow drivers are actually gonna be able to work from April until December, when they'll be back into being snowplow drivers.
That's a
for the winter.
DPW like?
It is.
Yeah.
But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take those 6 temporary workers, USI is gonna train them, going to then manage them. We're gonna mail the letters, set up the appointments, provide them with a handheld for paperless work order collection. And their temporary workers are physically going to do the labor, so that they don't have to get paid prevailing wage, which saves the town that I'm talking with about 30% of labor costs, which is a huge amount of money. So that's a third option. And and obviously the first option being,
Well,
you guys would do them yourself.
Hanson's separate, there's a water department and a highway department, they're
Okay.
separate. So,
You could still hire summer temporary help to do that. I'm sure you guys do that.
no, we don't,
No?
we don't.
now there's a rule.
Really?
No.
And every other water department always hires summer help that I know of, that I talk to. Always. Yeah.
Not it.
We do it all, we do it all.
4 guys.
Wow. Well, I learned something. But still, it's an option. It can be a big cost savings. Is all I'm trying to
Well,
say.
it's labor,
Exactly.
labor's the cost.
Exactly. Prevailing wage in your town is probably $70 an hour
I don't know what it is
for a
here.
plumber. So, and it's big money. If you could pay a temporary worker at $18 or $20 an hour versus paying $70 an hour is a very big difference. And obviously, the reason I'm only saying 30% is because it's a project management cost. It's the cost to mail the letters, it's the cost of we have a proprietary USI handheld that we use to collect all of our data. It's barcode scanned, so that way there's no human error with your meter number, your MIU numbers, everything's barcoded. It goes all into a cloud-based format with photos of the meter installation.
Damn cloud again, here we go.
It was a full time.
Cloud is
Yeah.
big, I don't know.
These units are warranted.
That's, see, we don't sell the product. I will install any system that's out there. We are solely an installation person. So if you're going with Neptune, they're warranted for, I believe, 10 years, 100%, and then 10 years after that degrading by 10% each year. Don't quote me on that, I don't work for Neptune, but most of
The
the.
warranty wouldn't require licensed professionals for installation.
Nope. Yep. Yeah, and actually, it doesn't even fall under, like, I'm a master plumber, but the meter itself does not fall under plumbing code whatsoever. It starts at the outlet of the water meter, so that's where it's defined in the plumbing code. So it doesn't really fall under, it's kind of in no man's land,
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
I'd say.
It is.
So all you do is just go and install the meter. The water town's responsible for finding the shut off and shutting the water off, so.
That's up to you. Most water departments, yes, is that way. Two that we did with Lawrence and Lowell, we were responsible for everything to do with the curb stop as well. Cleaning it, locating it, operating it, replacing it when we break it.
Now, do you guys change the valves though too? Or is that, or just the meter?
We absolutely can. We've done that in many. Actually, a good example is Woburn. The city of Woburn, about 12 to 15% of the entire town had no water meters because every person in that town got flat rate billed. So we actually had to pull a permit and install a meter, cut in a water meter. And so we were, as a licensed plumber, I pulled 1,100 plumbing permits. Me and that plumbing inspector are good friends.
So I mean, how would that go with, if you're gonna install the meter and then all of a sudden you need a valve put in? So now you gotta pull a guy from the water department to come over and shut obviously the curb stop off, or is that something you guys do, or?
That's up to you to tell me what you want.
Because it's gotta be kinda like a catch-22, because we don't know, you're gonna go to a residence and they're gonna be like, oh, we gotta replace the valve, then you're gonna pull one of us and shut it off. Then we have to find the shut off and
Right.
make sure it's cleaned out and shut it off. So it's kinda, I mean, obviously you gotta come with the issue with you can't shut it off.
Right.
And then it's gonna be an issue that we have to come in and break away from what we're doing
Right.
to assist you guys.
Right. And we have the capability to freeze lines too. We do that all the time where we.
So that's even, because we do that too. We do that
Love
here.
it. So love it. That's one of the greatest inventions ever, in my opinion.
But I think it's just, I think that, from our perspective, that if you're actually in the house, you got access to the house, and you can't shut the valve off to replace the meter, then what's the, what do you guys, obviously you're gonna need one of us to come and shut the curb walks off, unless you're gonna freeze it.
Right.
And if you can't freeze it, if it's too close to the foundation, you can't.
Right.
So what's the protocol of that? Do you come back, or do you want us to break away and kind
It
of
can
like?
be done either way. I mean, it's like I started my conversation with, that if we have the full support of the water department, the whole project always goes so much better. So if you do want to be heavily involved, where you want to be ready to go and want us to call you,
Well, that's the problem, is like, there's only 4 of us.
Yeah.
It's not like there's Brockton where there's 400 guys, there's
Yeah.
only 4 of us, so I know they dedicate a bunch of guys for you guys, and I know they did in Boston and, the bigger towns, they dedicate a group of guys to actually go with you guys for that situation.
Right.
Unfortunately, when we're here, there's only 4 of us, we can't, dedicate our time to go around with you guys to actually swap them out.
Yeah.
So I know you gotta come up with the issue, obviously the valve's not gonna work, or there's gonna be an issue, so is that something, I mean, how do you go from there?
It can be all put in your contract of how you want it done. I mean, if you tell me that you'd want me to document it with the homeowner and pass them along to you, so then we can, at your leisure, you could go over, locate it,
And just
operate
reschedule it
and
or
then
something.
reschedule it for another
Okay.
day. If that's what you'd want, absolutely. I mean,
So you're pretty much flexible, you
Absolutely.
pretty much, whatever the board agrees to, you can pretty much
I'll be completely
accommodate.
honest, I have to bid on the job,
Right,
so
so you kinda have to bid on it what the
I have to
the
bid on
specs
what
are
you
from-
guys write.
Correct.
So if you put in there that you want us to wear pink hats, that's what we're gonna wear.
Do we have to get 3 bids?
Probably.
So there's Yeah, it depends on what direction you want to go. I mean, one of my largest suggestions would be to highly consider a supply and install contract, which is you're gonna spec out exactly what meter you want, and you guys can do your due diligence, check with every manufacturer, talk to everyone that you can. But spec out what you want, and then get the installation part with it. And the reason I say that is that you have one person to go to if there's a problem. You don't break it up into a supply and a supply contract and an install
Another one,
contract.
you keep it
Because then
together.
you're gonna call, EJ Prescott, and then you're gonna call me, well, is it my leak or is it the meter itself leaking? So, it doesn't matter if it's a supply and install, because I'm just gonna go there and figure it out, or just throw a whole new one in and I'll deal with the manufacturer of the product.
Later on.
Exactly. So that's my biggest piece of advice, is to keep it in one contract. But do your homework and be very specific. If you really want one particular manufacturer, do your homework.
Well, I
on
think
that
it's proper. I don't think it's wise having 3 different types of meters in a town.
I agree.
They have problems with the cloud, they've had trouble with the readers, and one of the members isn't here tonight, and I think they have the same meter in Pembroke,
Yeah, they had all
And-
senses.
and they changed them all to Neptunes.
Jumped alternate.
So, I think it'd be better off for everybody working here, if you had one type of meter, one reader, and go with it, but it's just trying to find a price to do it with,
Yep,
because we are millionaires,
I hear you.
and, we're trying to do 10 things with enough money to do one.
I hear you.
How
Everybody
many
says
meters
the
we
same.
have? How many?
3,700, I think.
3,700. So that means putting the meters in is not the problem. I see these guys come in and go
No, it's
bang, bang.
buying the meters and supplying the money to
Buying is
pay
not-
to
I'm
get them
saying Locate the
installed.
curb boxes, and it's gonna take our department 3 years just to locate the curb boxes. That's it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Maybe you.
Yeah, but
How
that's,
many, how many of your
that's
places are gate valves?
You know?
that's worst case scenario.
They're all curb boxes, but I mean,
No, inside the house.
no, they're shut off. Every house has a shut off, but
Is
they
it
all,
a gate or a ball?
they're all different.
Well, the ball valves are gate valves.
Yeah, 'cause
They're
gates
they
are
all
the-
different. And the older ones, they have the twist, so I mean,
Yep.
we've been replacing for years, but we always come to an issue that we think we're gonna be in and out, and then all of a sudden, we're digging up the front yard. And then if we can't get on the curb stop, obviously it's broken or frozen or whatever, now we have to dig it up. So it's a huge deal for 4 guys to basically redo the whole town.
Yeah.
We've been doing it for 10 years, and the meters that we put in 10 years ago, batteries are already dying.
Yep,
So now we're in the issue that we have to go back to what we already did. We're not even caught up what we should have done.
yep,
But not every home either, you're gonna have to replace the gate valve.
right.
I mean, they could have a ball valve in there, they could have an angle stop, they could, it could be a myriad of different things, I mean.
I'm
Especially if you could freeze them too. So if they could freeze them and swap the shut-offs out.
Right. I'm talking to another town that actually, they have a larger problem of their record keeping is horrible. Which I don't know if this
It's
does or
probably
doesn't
the cloud.
apply to you. Well, they had a fire, and all of their cards that they kept all their ties on were destroyed.
Oh.
And that's the only place apparently they kept them. They didn't duplicate them and put them in 2 different buildings or anything like that. So actually, I'm talking with them about that during the meter change out, they actually want us to go out beforehand, and they've put this in the contract of going out and locating every single
Gate box.
curb stop
Yeah.
in every single person's house, getting ties on it, redoing the ties, and also making sure that it operates at every single house. So if it's bent or too deep, we're putting extensions on it, we're making everything up to stuff. So if you,
That's a lot of work.
it's a lot of work and it's a lot of money.
Yeah, it
But
is.
it's, it's something that can be done as well, or if you know you have specific areas or streets that you just want it done like that, it can be done.
So you can pretty much do anything. It's up to the board to decide what.
How little or how much?
Right.
Exactly.
Understandable. I get that.
It's all in where you want to allocate your money and what is important to you in that allocation. It really is. I mean, I can help you do something as inexpensively as possible, or you can get it to where your system is humming.
Well, if there's 3,700 houses, how much roughly do you figure it would cost for each house?
I don't know meter pricing.
Oh.
I don't. That's not my end.
You're just
for
working on the
installation.
other end?
Yeah, recent bids have been in the $100 to $105 a piece range. But they're in north of Boston, which is a little bit more. I would say it's gonna be a hair under that. But that's where the bids have been,
So if we do 100 times
3,700.
3,700,
Yeah.
that's
370 grand.
370,000, right?
Correct.
37,000.
And that's just labor, correct?
370,000.
370.
That's just for.
That's just the cost of the meter.
No, that's just the.
That-
Oh, that's the
That's install, and
installation.
then
That's your.
we can get the meter at
Yeah.
our rate, which, and then we give them the meters, and they come in and install them, correct?
Well, like I said before, you wanna go out for a supply and install contract, which is, we're
Correct.
gonna do both.
Right.
So if the meter and the transmitter cost me $400, I have no idea what meters cost, I really don't. I don't buy them, ever. So let's say that's 400 and my cost is 100 and it ends up being $500 a piece. That's what I would bid on it at. So you wanted it supplied and furnished and installed. So you can
Well, that's what I
hire-
was wondering on the total, what it would roughly cost.
I can't help you.
So what, it'd be
I-
500 times 3,700?
Yeah, and that's a wild
And
guess.
that's probably high.
Yeah. I have very little, I don't do that end of the business. We haven't seen a supply and install contract in a couple of years. Everybody keeps breaking it out, and it ends up being that there's a leak on the base plate of a brand new meter 2 weeks later. And so I'm taking a photo of it and I'm telling, hey, this meter manufacturer here, you got a leak at this house, go fix it. Because it's not on me, I don't have any warranty whatsoever to the meter, because I'm the contractor that's putting it in the meter. So what it ends up doing is then I'm telling a homeowner that I don't own the meter, I can call the manufacturer has to send a rep over to change the meter or to fix it. It just makes it clumsy in my opinion. I don't know.
Why I asked that is because I was just thinking, maybe we could do half the town one year and half the town next year.
I always do that too, absolutely.
And still have enough working capital so that we can do our other work.
Yep. Yeah, Massachusetts lets you go up to 3 years, so you absolutely have that option. I don't know how your procurement is or whatever, but you can go up to 3 years. Yeah, I mean, I don't really quote sell anything. I'm just a installation contractor that has to be the low bidder usually.
Well, I don't think the four gentlemen that work here would have enough time to install meters. And with the trouble that they've had in the last 6 months with the different readers that have gone berserk, right?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
It costs time and money.
Yep. I mean, the only other thing I can suggest too is if the actual reading of the meter is a pain point for you, you can sub that out. Have somebody come and read it for you. Take care of that whole portion of the work.
No, I think we basically have to get on the same page, and
That we're talking about?
I think what they all agree is they want to get back on one system, which is the Neptune, and basically just have one reader, one system, and just get everything done at
So
once.
you're looking
Yeah,
at.
you should be able to read your
20,
system in a couple hours.
Right, and that's what it should be, but it's not, it's taking us months,
a meter?
and everything
Or a
just,
house?
it's going backwards instead of forward. And we have like 4 different systems,
Yeah.
we go around with 2 different guns, and
I get it.
it's not feasible at all,
You're
so.
not the only one.
Right, so we have to bite the
Almost every
bullet.
town has a couple systems.
Yeah.
Right, we have more than a couple, so it just,
Right.
it's getting worse than better.
So you gotta do
And
that times
over the years,
3,700
if it's selling us all this stuff,
Plus
and
100.
it just, it gets worse.
Hey,
So we wanna get current and just basically bite the bullet, get the whole town done,
Need a quarter
and be done with it.
times 3,700.
Sounds good to me.
Never got a calculator.
Yeah, they gave us a quote,
Oh, cool.
so the meter was on there, 221 and change.
There you go. Then you need a radio.
Yeah, they'd have to get all the other stuff, but they're just saying, what's the cost per house?
Yep.
'Cause
What's
we
that
get-
per
we
house?
get into-
1.2 total.
For the town, to do the whole town at once.
So we couldn't really do that. Well, our budget, our total budget's 1.3,
Right.
and you couldn't even do it in half.
You do it over 3 years.
But you could do it over a 3-year period.
Yeah, you could do it in 2. Our surplus is over a million. You could take 500 of it. and do it.
Absolutely. There's
Do
very few
500
left.
and
though.
500.
Yeah.
I'll just take one,
That's
thank you
okay.
so much.
Or if you did it over 3, you could do it, you
Which,
know,
Real.
which Mike was
I'm gonna put
here.
in with the rest of
I'll
the stuff.
definitely take one. That gives them a chip too, so.
yeah, I got one.
You got one? I ordered new ones, I just haven't got them swing down my office, pick them up yet.
You're out of Bourne, is the company out of Bourne, or
Yep.
is it, the company is out of Bourne?
Yep. I live in Taunton, 30-minute ride.
When did they do this? This was just done, this was last year.
That was just last year.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be
So
too
you're-
much different.
Yeah.
Your
Maybe 10%.
season per se is March to November?
We work all year round. I mean, we're about to start a big project and gonna go through the winter. I try to avoid it depending on the winter. You can have good winters and you can have horrible winters. Sometimes I just try to avoid it. I strictly try to avoid it for your guys' sake and for the customers. Because if you can't do something because there's 4-foot snowbanks on the side of the road like we had 2 years ago, the customer ends up having to reschedule for May, they don't like that, they gotta put it off, they can take another day out of work. You end up hearing a little bit of complaints from that. If you can avoid some of those complaints, it can help your PR.
No, I'd rather
It's
see it
just a
done.
suggestion for that reason,
Yeah.
really. And for their end, so that they're not bringing a backhoe down to take a 4-foot snowbank out to find a curb stop.
Or where
Oh,
we
Jerry
read them,
shovels by hand.
where they're red in February and August, right? So it leaves you from February to August, the middle
Yeah.
of the summer.
Yeah.
And
Start in the middle of
don't
March
even
or
worry
something, at
about
the
the
end,
weather.
whenever the weather breaks, you just go,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah,
So your employees are stringent bonded, or
absolutely. There are employees,
they are employees?
they're not subcontractors. Any other technical questions I can answer, or do you have any questions about anything you've read in the Neptune stuff, or? I'll try to answer as much as I can. It's a great product, it really is. I mean, Neptune, you can't go wrong with Neptune. They've been in business forever. They've made right here in America, down in Tallahassee, Alabama. I've been to the factory myself. I've been through the factory tours. I've been through the water feeder training program with them. They offer a lot. I mean, you can send your guys down to it. It's actually a lot of fun. They teach you how to take apart a whole meter, how it works, why it works, which is far more than any other manufacturer's ever offered me. It's great that they're that proud of their product, you know. It's good to see, in my opinion. Yeah. Yeah. Neptune also puts on some really cool events like you're talking about. I mean, they flew me out to Arizona this past year, Florida the year before, where they had like a customer appreciation. I mean, they really take care of their customers. They're huge on their customer service. They really are. They're one of the few.
Well,
I'm satisfied.
Yeah.
And like I said, I have no skin in the game with Neptune. I mean, I'm installing the Badger system in Snowbridge, Rhode Island. I did Procter and the Census. I have no skin in anybody's game, really. So these games to be, unfortunately, have to be the lowest bidder. It's really how I get work.
do the towns take lowest bidder on meters, or do they buy what they want?
Usually, they take the lowest bidder. Usually, but some towns will spec out what they want.
Yeah, I was gonna
They'll
say, if
take
we
what
had,
they
we had an RFI out there, then
Right.
we could say that it's this meter, we give them a model number.
Yeah.
That's what it's based on.
Okay.
What they want it, you want it
Exactly.
based on.
That's exactly how you want to do it. you know, and then you tell them you want it supplied and installed. Again, so you're talking about one person. Pick up the
Which
phone
is-
and you call me, it doesn't matter what's wrong with it, I gotta fix it.
But you still go out for the 3 bids though.
That's up to you guys, that's how you guys, I don't know how you guys work.
Well, you know, they do different things in Hanson. Sometimes they don't take the lowest bidder, sometimes they take the next one because they've heard different things about what people have been
Yeah.
doing.
But yeah, I mean, absolutely, I
And,
mean, do all your homework on the
When you
bidders.
hear all the different things that go on,
Yeah.
it costs the town a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, look at you, you're talking about replacing a census system. You know, it's not that old. You're not the only one. I mean, if you're saying Pembroke,
Right.
I've heard of a couple other communities recently that are being switched over to Neptune actually from census.
I think Pembroke's got all Neptunes now, haven't they?
No,
No.
they're transferring over to them as they go along.
Are they putting them in themselves?
Yeah,
There's another town around here that was doing it too.
I think East Bridgewater has done it, has moved over to Neptune.
Halifax too.
Halifax, that was the one I just heard. Yep. That's what I heard the other day.
Yeah, we talked to those guys,
They
we talked to
were-
those guys about them and they
were
love them. So one
census-
system, hit the button, the radio pops up and we don't have to program all the, what we did with the iPros and,
Oh, that's another thing that's a huge improvement is, or a difference between the two, is instead of actually having a program every single box at every person's house, you just swipe a magnet.
done. Yeah.
It's active.
That's why they like it and they go in so quick.
Yep.
That's why it's good for you guys. You probably get in and get out and get them done.
Yep. Yeah,
Yeah.
take a handheld around and read
Right.
whatever the guys do for that day or that week. Make
We have to
sure
jump
that-
through hoops to do these iPro things. You gotta put box here, this, that, and programs like, really?
It's horrible.
Yeah. Are we having to reprogram the digits on them too?
They haven't, we haven't gotten into that. But we've had situations where we had to pull a meter and send it back to the manufacturer to do it.
Now, what about meter pits?
Um,
You guys do those too?
yeah, I mean, I did one today.
Yeah. So you do everything.
Yeah.
Basically, whatever they say, you're gonna do.
You don't have many meter pits in
Why is he
Hanson.
smiling?
I know. You should see some of these meter
About
pits.
100.
You should have seen the one I did
Is
today.
it that
Yeah.
I'll tell you about it after.
Summer cottages
Some, maybe 20 if that.
or crawl spaces?
Yeah,
We get them
not
all.
many, but.
Yeah, we get the white suits for the guys. We're doing a town now that's a ton of crawl spaces and a ton of mobile homes, so the guys are wearing the white suits and everything.
Mhm.
We're all prepared for it. Guys aren't thrilled about it, but
Nobody likes going into crawl spaces.
no, but I mean, if you give the guy a white suit, he's a little bit happier that he's not getting dirty and stuff like that. And it's, you know, then he can take it off and he's not getting the next person's house dirty. Take a little bit of care and.
Just take a nap while you're down there.
Still working? Just go.
You almost done? Yeah, give me another half hour.
Clanks on the pipe. Clink, clink, clink. Yeah, almost done. Clink, clink.
No. Anybody else got any questions?
No, I'm good.
All good markings on your trucks and everything?
Magnetic signs, yep, because
Magnetics.
some towns specify that they want it to say their town name, so we're going magnetic signs, so we can rotate them out. Sometimes you wanna say contractor for X water department and have your logo on it or something. Some just wanna say meter installation, don't want any phone numbers or any company names. We've gone through everything, every specific type.
Yeah, so the homeowners aren't bugging you.
Yeah, we also, try to stay in good communication with the police department. If we have a good receptive police department, we'll send the work orders for the next day to the police department every day. So if they get a call, like I have a strange person, they can just flip through and look at the list of customers that we have that day. We've had a lot of, police departments that are that active that want a list every day.
Yeah.
And we're happy to accommodate, just CCing them on an email. So it's nothing to us, but it can mean a lot to a customer.
Right.
It's saying, I got a strange man at my door, yes, you have an appointment for your water meter. Imagine if the dispatcher gets to say that to a customer. You know, it alleviates everything, right, that's huge. You know, so the due diligence with the customer service is something I think we really pride ourselves on. You know, making appointments, accommodating customers, they can make it online, they don't have to call us. They can just go on our website, schedule their appointment, done. So there are a lot of accommodations that we've made over the years, to make it easy.
That's all I got so far.
That's fine. We just got a lot of time to dot our i's and cross our t's.
Yeah. Anytime I can answer any questions, call me, shoot me an email, anything. I'm always around. All right, anytime you want me to stop in, let me know. I don't know, 30 minutes away.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Nice to meet
you.
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah,
Good to
now.
see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you
you.
very much.
Thank you. See you all later. Thank you.
Good night, thank you.
Have a good night, buddy.
Have a good one.
Safe travel now.
Thank you.
Oh, youth. To be young again. My birthday was last Friday.
Really?
60.
Happy birthday. Birthday month.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all downhill from here, I guess.
Yeah,
No, not really.
I'm still going up though.
See how the road's
you're
going.
climbing.
I'm almost going through puberty.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Mine's
I
next,
think I got
next
about
month.
50 years left.
Next
Oh, yeah.
month,
What, not what day?
25th, it's a Saturday. It's after Thanksgiving.
My birthday is Friday the 13th. Like it is every 7 years. Damn.
Yeah, mine's on Thanksgiving every 7 years. It'll fall,
Wow.
I turned 21, it was Thanksgiving. It's horrible. Couldn't go out to drink.
60 years old. Imagine that.
So now we got the
Only
superintendent's
30.
report.
Yep. Okay, everything, Selco is in the middle of working up the street here on County Road.
What's going on there? How come they slowed down or something?
I guess they left at like noon time today, or 1 or something like that.
So everything's all right though? No roadblock or anything?
Roadblock? Oh, you mean as far as a monkey wrench?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. So far, so good. The valves on Spring Street were not the easiest, but we got all that done. That's all secure, the main's been fixed, the new gates are in, everything's back to normal.
It's all hot topped.
Yep. Yep. Okay, last night we did, we met with the Conservation Commission, which they couldn't meet because they didn't have a quorum. But they had a slightly revised map of the well site area, and they have they had to move it a little bit because of the big trees that they found that they don't want it taken down, and starting this next week they're gonna survey. They're gonna come back and survey those trees and plot them out and identify the ones that need to come down, so on and so forth. This is the area of wetlands that we have to cross, so they want some sort of mitigation for that, which to be named at a later date.
Is that where they're gonna put a culvert pipe between
Yeah,
that area
they
there?
wanna do some sort of a culvert across here where
Or
the,
just put in either aluminum or I don't know, maybe you can put concrete in there, I don't know. But it's not too deep.
yeah, I think it would be close to the surface, that's what
Yeah.
they're saying.
You might have to use concrete.
So,
And that's
so,
only 16 feet wide,
12,
12 foot total.
yeah,
12-foot wide access road.
yeah.
2-foot
What's
wide shoulders.
what's the line, what's this line here? That one and that one.
That's the buffer, the 50-foot
Okay.
buffer.
This here's the 12, only 12 feet?
Yeah, the red
Is that wide enough for the truck?
So they
Well,
say,
it says 12 foot with a 2-foot wide shoulder. both sides, so
Come over here.
the road itself will be 12, but you'll have
16 feet.
16 feet across clear. Is that, yes, it's 2 foot wide
Come
shoulders
play.
on both sides. So you'll have 16. So if the machine is
Is
wider
that
than
gonna
12.
be excavated to 16, so that it's all gravelled in on the roadway like that?
I'm not
Doesn't
sure if
say.
they're actually gonna, probably topsoil is gonna come off, but they're not gonna
Yeah, they're not gonna
do
gravel it.
any major excavation that have a baby.
No, what I mean is the topsoil will have to come out.
Yeah,
And then it'll have to be gravelled in.
yeah,
It's for compaction,
Yeah.
so it'll hold the weight.
yeah.
But that'll be total of probably 16 feet instead of 12. But it'll be actually a 12-foot workable road
Well, yeah,
with 2 foot either side.
well, that's what it says, it's saying, yeah.
Okay. I mean, if I were to go do it, that's the way I would surmise to be done, because 16 feet isn't really wide today for a truck. An old Model T Ford would be fine.
You got one of those at your house, right?
Huh?
You got one of those at your house, don't you?
No, I got rid of it a long time. I had a 34 Chevy.
So we couldn't conduct a meeting, but they discussed some of it, so they could get some information and come back with everything that they desired, the Conservation Commission, at their next meeting, which I think it is the 13th of November. I think that's what they set their next meeting at.
Maybe it's the 14th.
That's $100,000 road.
Might be the
I
14th.
get more than $100,000 to do that road.
Because
Sad.
we met the 24th, the selectmen,
Yeah.
and they're gonna be off now, the 31st, the 7th, and the next one isn't gonna be till the 14th.
Okay.
So
Maybe-
the 7th is open, and I was wondering whether or not we have, if we had meeting with the residents, and use the selectmen's meeting room, if they would come, even prior to doing the road work, to explain to the residents in the area what's going on.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To have Phil there on conservation. Is that too early?
Then people are gonna be mad at that road.
Well, Gil, the thing about it is,
I'm
if
mad
you
at
don't
that
tell the
road.
residents what's going on, and no one, it's hell to pay. Nowadays, if you get them involved in it, I don't think we had any problem the last time we had talked to them.
Oh, I don't know, the road's so elaborate, that's so elaborate before we even drill a well.
The way Phil's talking about the roadway is, if nothing becomes of it, and we can't use it for wells, it's gonna be a roadway in the woods that can be tied in with the roadways that are already in there.
Oh, yeah,
And
highway
it
to
could be,
heaven.
it'd be a walkway in that whole area for everybody in that neighborhood.
Highway to heaven. It costs us $100,000, probably $150,000.
Well, how else are you gonna do it?
Well, I tell you what, there's gotta be a simple way to find water.
There was back when I did the ones in Hanover Street. They decided they were gonna have 2 wells on Hanover Street,
Houses.
and a month later, they had a well drill rig in there. We put the road in, they had it in, and they did both
I
wells
just did it.
in a month. Incredible. Nowadays, it'd probably be 2 years. It's been a year already.
So CDM's they're preparing to be in front of you guys at our next meeting,
My phone.
which is the 15th,
I'll put that right in my book now.
with cost estimates for everything.
15th of November?
Correct.
So what's our next scheduled meeting then? What are we talking about here? As far as meeting in
15th of November.
It'd be the 15th of November? Okay, so. We're gonna talk about this meeting once in November, or what do we wanna do again? So, let's see.
So what are you thinking? You want to hold off
Yeah,
on the
probably,
pre-meeting?
probably hold off on the
Okay.
residents. 15th, and then you're gonna have it the 15th and 29th?
No, I
29th.
think it was gonna be only one time in November.
Oh, just one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you got Thanksgiving.
Right. And we'll decide on the December.
And that's the
meeting.
night that they're coming in?
Yes,
The
the
15th.
15th.
All right. You only have one meeting in December then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Unless you want more, it's up to you.
No, it's just,
We just figured not the night before Thanksgiving, that's all.
yeah. Oh, I
I'll be
agree.
busy.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Just another day to me.
Uh-huh.
Prep day for me.
No, that's a Wednesday, right? That's when I cook the turkey and do all the vegetables.
Depending
Slice it
upon how
up.
many people coming over, there's possibly 2 turkeys. Depends on how many people come over.
2.
Depends who comes. I won't know
2 20-pounders?
sometimes. Sometimes it's 2 23s or 2
Got room for 2 more?
Yeah, there's always enough in my house. I have an Italian mother. She still cooks for like 12 people.
All right, what
Okay,
else?
we have currently, I know you guys know, but the rest of the guys, we have 7 hydrants out of service. For one reason or another being broken from flushing.
I noticed they removed the one at Old Plymouth, huh?
Really?
Yeah, it's gone. I walked my dog, I walked by and they're like, where's the hydrant? It's gone. The one that you said they painted different colors and stuff? At Old Plymouth Street?
Yeah.
It's gone.
Is that
That's,
Brockton's?
that's Pembroke's.
Yeah.
No, I guess they painted it again, they painted Pembroke's colors now.
Yeah,
Last time I looked at it, it was painted Pembroke's colors.
It's gone.
it's gone.
But I said, the hell, it took the thing out.
I walk my dog every day around the circle there. Go down Old Plymouth, up Union.
Are we still flushing?
Yes. Yeah, the guys were gonna play it by ear tonight, depending on the rain.
Sucks out there tonight.
Yeah. But everything's been flushing really well. We're down.
You're all the way to
We're on
Mont
Pleasant
Ponce?
Street, yeah, we're almost to Mont Ponce. If they're finished, hopefully, well, if they go out tonight, they.
Oh, you're
hopefully-
all the way, you're by Gill's house on South Street, all the
Yeah.
way to
It's
58,
looking
right?
pretty good, I'll tell you.
Is it nice?
I think it's pretty nice.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've started down Pleasant. So they're somewhere in the middle of Pleasant.
Going to 58,
Yeah,
I mean
everything north of
27,
that is done.
going north.
Yeah. So,
Well, yeah, Jim, that hydrant on by the AA, is that on the list of the 7 that's broken?
yeah.
Yes,
Do you think that's broken or?
yes. We couldn't move it.
You can't even
Frozen?
turn it,
Can't even
understand?
turn it.
So,
Would you have to sort that out, or do you have to have somebody come do that?
Well, I mean, we can do them.
so we're up to 7.
Are the ones that aren't working covered in like a white bag?
Yes, they have either a sign on the front that says out of service, or they have a burlap bag or a trash, some sort of bag.
Yeah, so I thought it was like a burlap bag or some sort on it.
You can almost guarantee there's probably gonna be some more hydrants too as we go.
Oh, sure, yeah.
No, this can't happen, 7 broken hydrants.
Well, when was the last time they were open?
Well, that's the issue, that's why. That's why we
2015.
got,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, we got so much crap going on, it's.
Well, it could be all the sludge building up inside the valve too. It's-
Well, what happened too is back, we used to do unidirectional flushing. So
Yeah.
back in the day, we used to open every single hydrant and exercise them
Yeah.
10, 12 years ago. When we started doing unidirectional flushing, we skipped a bunch of hydrants because we shut the gates down. So the hydrants were never exercised or operated. So obviously they just sit there and deteriorate.
Yeah.
So now
Is that something
now we're doing every
the fire
hydrant.
department has to do, or should it be involving the fire department?
No, we maintain them, so, and the
Okay.
fire department actually operates them, well, we operate them too, but
Yeah,
it's mainly, we maintain it for the fire department.
yeah.
But it just, I mean, we haven't operated hydrants, say, I think 12, maybe 13 years ago, when we used to do every single hydrant. And when we started doing unidirectional flushing, we skipped a lot of hydrants, and obviously they never got exercised, and that's, you know, just part of the problem
I
that,
mean, what else you got?
You know, in the wintertime, a lot of them are just buried too.
right. Well, that's why we put flags on
Yeah.
probably 95% of these
Well, it all
hydrants.
depends on how far they're set off the road. Like I know on my street, it's in a ways.
Right, but there's a
But
flag, there'll be a
some of them
flag on
just-
every
they're almost
hydrant.
right on the edge, and then as they plow, they get swamped.
Yeah. No, I think the residents will know too, that if they don't see a flag on a hydrant, let the water department know, we will put one on. Only because for that snowplow reason.
Mhm.
When we do get a lot of snow, the fire department does know where the hydrants are.
Yeah, it's up at, on my street, it's at the Hickeys in their yard. Sometimes they'll do it, but if the snowbank's too big, they wait for me.
Right, there you go.
I just take the snow blow to it.
Yeah.
Go right in and say, I hope no man mess up your lawn, but they don't care.
No, it benefits them.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
We got
That's
some
it.
minutes to review.
Yeah. And the only thing I saw in the executive session ones, my name is spelled wrong at the bottom of the second page.
It is?
Yeah, it says Garvin, it's Garvey.
Oh, can't we change
Just
it?
cross it out.
Oh, okay, so the executive.
Well, just so that they,
Yeah,
you
no,
know,
I
they
didn't.
go, who the
even
hell is
know
this guy?
You can just brand you something, I'm gonna call you Garvin.
Gavin, you call me Garvin, you call me whatever you want, late for dinner.
I will change that.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
What's that for October 11th?
Yeah, that was the executive session. I have agrees to these two.
We haven't been able to get to the hydrants because of, with the gas company, the camp, and Selco, still in town, that's just. and
It's too much.
Finishing meters, we just haven't gotten a chance to.
Yeah, that's why I'm going easy tonight, so, but my next deal is, you all set, Chip?
Yeah.
My next deal is going to be, which is very disappointing here, which is gonna take a lot of work by everybody. On the master plan, going back to the master plan, there's no way in hell we're ever gonna accept this master plan when it comes in, right?
Well, they got a lot of changes they gotta do to it.
Well, someone's gotta tell them the changes. Their information is based on what we give them. They don't research the information. And like you sat there and told us that night, we've gotta give them the information.
All right, Jerry, you've been doing something on that?
I have, I've been working on the plan that Chip gave me, and I've been going through it pretty thoroughly, so it's pretty much complete from my end. The,
Have they got that information?
No, not yet, they're aware of it, and when we're done, we're gonna contact them, they're gonna come in and sit down and go over everything.
Okay.
Now, are you doing the streets, Great Cedar, Progress Way and all that?
everything's in there.
Have you got everything in it?
And I spoke to the, what was the name, the guy and the girl?
Lauren and Ryan.
Yeah, they're the ones gonna be actually working with us on that, so they're well aware of that, all the issues that I have and we have on that plan. So we're gonna sit down, have a meeting, all the guys are gonna come in, and we're gonna go through that plan, page by page, and everybody's gonna have their inputs, but I put a lot of tweak to it, so there's a lot of things added to it, and they're aware of all the changes, so it's the matter of time of everybody getting together and getting everybody's brain together in one room.
How do they know this computer module they use? How do they know that, down by Warren Rose House, what's that cedar there? Cedar
Oh.
Lane? Is it- Right by 27 there.
That's a private road though, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Is it a private
By
road?
Tedeschi's? Before you get to the lights on the left?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that's private.
Brockton's water. That's not us.
Brockton Water?
Yeah.
It's only, what, 5 years old or something?
No, that's a lot older than that. You're talking about,
Where Ronnie Cabona lives and all that?
no, I know when you're going past Pleasant Street, you're talking about on the left before you get to the lights at Tedeschi's?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Brockton Water, that's
You
not
mean
ours.
Sydney Lane?
Sydney Lane, there
Yeah,
you go.
Sydney Lane,
Oh,
That's Brockton Water?
yes.
yeah. We were on a moratorium when they hooked into that, so we couldn't give them the water.
So then the next part of this, okay, the as-bills, for these other issues. We gotta come up with a system of the planning board, sending these people to the water department. All right, because you don't have anything on Progress Way or
Great Cedar?
Great Cedar. So those are issues there. And,
We have an original plan of Great Cedar, Chris found it the other day, but it shows one line in. And there's clearly not.
I see
So-
where these places are not so old though, they're not 20, 50, 20, 30.
I adjusted those on my plan. The Great Cedars have been adjusted for the loop. And,
What about ties and stuff, like,
well, the contract is when they basically, when the road's accepted, they're supposed to give us ties. And they're supposed to come to the water department and basically say, you know, you guys all sell the water. And then we're supposed to, well, we want the ties for the property. And that's what's supposed to be happening. We haven't got ties from properties.
so we still got other issues are the as-built for Ponce Street, Woodbine Ave Extension. So we gotta, my thing now is the cloud, this infamous Hanson cloud, okay? Getting the stuff that we should have on that famous cloud, which I think we're gonna, this is the next thing we really gotta attack. So we have better record keeping going forward as far as this, like the new stuff, you know, on Ponce Street, Woodbine Extension, and like.
That's all in the, I adjusted that on the plan
The
too.
repair we have on Spring Street, you know, do you have ties for that? You know, where the gate is, you know, where the hydro stops are. and stuff.
I put that in the master plan too. All that, I've already adjusted all that. And that's basically when everything I've done, when we get into a room together with everybody, and they're gonna, you know, everybody's gonna pick brains, but I'm pretty sure I got probably 99% of it on the plan adjusted, and then anybody else can add input to it. But it just, you know, I think an issue with the new subdivisions that we need to get ties for all these services that we're not getting from these contractors. Even with the Mark Ritter project and, you know, projects like that.
Write that
All
down,
the Stonebridge and Liberty
Stonebridge,
Circle.
and that's, you know, those are private, and technically, we don't have, if we have to shut something off, we can just shut the whole road down,
Yeah.
because technically it's private, but, I mean, we had a water main break and, not a service, meter blew off from a contractor back in the day when we had the old superintendent in there. He gave out the meters that gave to the contractor put the meters in, and then we put inserts in the lines coming into the property. So the fire department called me because the meter blew off. So you get a full rush of water from the street coming into the resident's home. So I had to go in and shut off at the street, and good thing it was showing because I didn't have any ties for it. Shut it down, and you know made the repair, and you know got the home water back up with water. But you know the damage was already done, and that was because the old superintendent gave all meters that we should have put in, and we didn't inspect, and we still don't have ties for anything in that property. So then, and again, and it's private, because it's private, but we still should have ties for that whole subdivision.
Hey, Chip, you said that the hydrants are all GPS?
Yeah.
Why can't we do that with curb boxes?
You can. You can. I think, you can, a lot of, some departments have been, they take a picture. So if you go on the cloud, you pop up 62 Warren Terrace, and there'll be a picture, and it'll show the curb box. Like they'll take a curb wrench and stick it in the curb box, and take a picture of it, so you can identify where it is. But a lot of the streets in where we have now, a lot of the, if you look at the map on the cloud, the pins the pin that is supposed to be dropped on the, service isn't,
On the sewer.
or it's not on the service.
So we'd have to physically go around and kinda like tweak it, and it's
Just time consuming.
very time consuming, you have to get it pretty much exactly
Well, shouldn't
right.
that be done by the developer that does that? Shouldn't that be?
Not
all
for our
measured?
cloud, but I think they should give us a paper trail of
Yeah.
their services, so
Of all
that,
the measurements of all the
Correct.
gate boxes
Right.
correct,
measured from the house.
correct. And we don't have those.
So we should create a membership to the planning board, to say, hey, let's,
So before they get their bonds back to release the
Yeah.
road, we should get ties for, all these
Everything
properties.
should be mapped and tied and
Correct,
properly before it gets okayed.
correct, before they get their bond money back.
what'd you do with Great Sea now? Did you guys flush that over the line, or what'd you end up
Yep.
doing?
Chris, it was that, on Chris's night.
Chris's night, you
But
did it?
yeah,
How bad was it?
He said it was pretty dark.
Was there 2 lines going into Great Cedar?
Yeah, and one was off. We found it off a
Oh, you
couple
found
months
the
ago.
other gate?
Yeah, and it was off, so. it
But
was
there's
dead.
just 2 tap and sleeves on the main, right?
Correct.
So there's no way to really flush it properly.
Well, you shut one of them down and force the water the
Force the
other
water
way.
one
And
way,
shut it down the
Shut
other
the
one
other
and then
one?
force it the other way. So you
okay,
can't get
down
it.
to the same hydrant down at the circle. All right. It'd be the same as Christopher Lane.
I'm trying to think, I just lost my train of thought. Oh, Sawmill, I did write Sawmill now too. So Sawmill, he can do his thing next week, right?
Yeah,
We should be all set for that?
yeah, I don't think he's planning on doing it till next spring though.
Yeah. That's the issue we have with the hydrants and stuff, I mean, how much time are we gonna have to do them? And they should all be fixed.
Well, they gotta be.
That should be,
I
priority.
could not live know that there's broken hydrants.
Right,
in this winter.
we'll have to start.
Well, the
we're gonna
meters
start
are all
next
red, right?
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
I have two left, and then I can calculate and get the those, so. But yeah, they're pretty well done, they're all just about.
So that big gas pipe, they pre-made that, so they know that that pipe's gonna fit right in there? Is that what I saw?
On
The
what?
ferries?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's already together.
it's all pre-made. so
They
they're gonna
pre-made it,
drop
and they
that
already
in the
set it up,
ground.
and they're just gonna pick it up and
Oh.
drop it in, and they'll connect and connect.
Yeah, because they had the well,
Is
they
it
got a well
plastic?
360 on
Or is it steel?
Steel.
it. It's
Steel.
coated steel, yeah.
Yeah, one
They're
section
gonna
was
weld
green,
them
one
all.
was black.
Yeah, all welded joints.
All welded
Yeah,
joints,
you
yeah.
have to.
So it's high pressure, so.
So I guess they screwed up, that's why the lake screwed up too, they clipped a
Yeah.
wire.
Well, they cut a wire to the traffic lights
Better that than something else.
Yeah.
last Friday.
Yeah.
Did they cut it, or they did it on purpose to make the
I
traffic
think
flow?
they dug it with the
No.
backhoe, because that's only in
I
the
think they hit
car.
it. I heard they hit it.
Well, I thought they did it so they could make the traffic go, so there's no traffic.
That's what they're telling people, but.
No, they hit it,
They
yeah?
broke the wire.
They broke the wire.
Yeah.
Well, they might have done it, when did they cut it? They cut it Saturday.
Yeah, it was over the weekend. They
Because
just
they might
put
have
some
done it
barrels up
Saturday
there
when
now
they
with
had the
stop
company
signs on
in
them.
to cut the
As
tire with
people
the,
are going through the
with
flashing
the
reds.
disc.
Right,
18-wheelers, just
ripping right through.
ripping right through them.
What, the red lights?
Yep. I had one almost hit me.
I thought it
Making
was,
a
I
left
thought it
onto
worked
Liberty,
out
one
better
guy
having
left, I
the
stopped going
stops.
through, the other guy just kept coming.
No,
And I'm like, Jesus, I'm like, nobody knows what a red flashing light is?
technically it's a stop sign.
It's a stop sign when it flashes red. And I'm like, and they said, everyone's like, oh, it's kids. I'm like, no, it's not kids, it's adults doing it too.
Nah.
I said, Tom, want some money? I said, post a cop there.
There you go.
You know how many tickets he could write every day?
Oh, I have one more thing before I forget.
Yep.
I've been contacted by a solar company. You guys have any interest in listening to their spiel? They're dying to come in and
Putting where?
save us wherever there's open land.
On water department land, you mean?
Any land, doesn't have to just be the water department's land.
Shouldn't they be contacting the town hall on that?
I was gonna say, they probably ought to contact Michael, the administrator,
Yeah.
Okay.
because you, the only land you got is up by the well fields, and there isn't
Right.
that much up there.
No,
And you can't put it on conservation land, and there's conservation land up there too, right? No, I'd suggest to them they contact the administrator.
okay.
I'll put it in their hands.
Can, we started talking, excuse me, we started talking about the minutes, but we never finished.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't approve
I was
anything.
wanted to,
Okay,
I started off with approving the minutes for October 11th, the regular ones.
okay.
Has everybody read them?
Regular meeting minutes, yes.
The regular meetings.
I've read both.
I'll entertain a motion for them if everybody's read them.
You all set? Yeah?
I'm all set with
I'll make the motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Dennis seconded. All in favor? Aye. 4-0.
Okay.
And then on the executive session for October 11th. Everybody's read them. I'll entertain for a motion.
Motion.
Bill motioned it.
Second.
Dennis seconded it. All in
Bill seconded
favor?
it.
Bill,
Aye.
okay. I'll change your name on, please. Sorry.
Just in case anybody reads it, they're gonna say, oh,
I'm gonna read it now.
Okay. One more
get a new
thing.
guy on the board.
Oh,
One more thing here.
So I find that rather remarkable when he told us that they were gonna train those, the guys, the plow drivers.
Yeah.
and-
That's
And
interesting.
they're like, that doesn't void your warranty, or?
I never heard that before.
I would want,
I don't know what plow guys wanna go jump in and put meters in. I mean,
I can't see any problems happening
you
there.
know,
They're probably subcontractors or something.
but even still, how many plow guys, you know, gonna jump in and swap out a meter?
So,
Wow.
capital improvement, you know,
Yep.
when does that have to be in? Does that have to be in the same time the budget has to be in, or when does that take
It's
place?
usually comes out at the same time. It's usually,
Usually warranties
late
avoid different
November.
stuff, you know, they
Right.
say.
And they
If
want
it's
it
not by
within like 2 weeks or
factory
so.
authorized.
They're like, no, that's a gray area.
And I know the budget, and everything,
Yeah.
that's what they want, they want the budget by
So
February.
we'll have to do
right?
that next meeting.
Since I've been here, my budget's always in plenty of time. It's never late.
So, you just gotta add a few things to it, right? Let's see,
So that'll be the next meeting then,
probably
What?
should be.
1st of November. For the budget, capital improvement.
I can't move on anything until I get the whole package from Mary.
Okay.
So as soon as she relinquishes all of that, because they have to set everything up in soft right to be able to produce the budget, and that all has to be, has to be entered in by whoever does it, I don't know who does it. But she usually relinquishes, an email stating, next week we'll be
What-
sending all
Okay.
the information.
What I'm thinking about is, we don't need it for this.
No,
This is all set.
you've got money for that road
Okay.
already.
We got
I'm
money
just
for that.
thinking about the water main coming down from Indian Head Street and other issues that we should add to it.
My plan was to put on the capital improvement plan is $2 million worth of water main work, period. And that's gonna be on there every year till kingdom come.
2 million?
Yeah, just because if, when it's on there, if we decide in the middle of the
To do
year, you
something,
wanna
you-
do 300,000,
You got it
We're-
there,
we're
you can
covered.
take it, okay.
right? Because they're so
Like from
picky
Reed-
about.
From Reed Street to
Right.
Monpont.
Right. So if we enter a figure like that, and that obviously, if we ever did more than that, we would have to change that number, but, 2 million's a pretty good thing to cover any of those smaller jobs.
Right.
Situations like that, and then that's gonna just, my plan is, unless you guys wanna change it, my plan is to leave it on there and every year.
You don't
just
have to
redo
use it.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have to use it.
Exploration, as far as all our paperwork in line, as far as finance committee and friggin', excuse me, capital improvement, as far as our exploration and whatnot. Is there any,
For the new well?
for for the new well, is there any hang up there, you think?
No, because we've already got, we
We've
have,
already got it.
we
for
have
that.
like 400 and, what is it, 400, it's over, somewhere around $450,000 left in that original article from, what, 2 years
It's
ago?
for the roadway.
For
That
well.
doesn't include the drilling.
No, it does.
Oh, that includes the drilling too?
As long as, as long as.
Okay. As long as it's within
Yeah.
400 and
Yeah,
some thousand.
whatever's left in that article.
Okay. And we got the money for that.
Yep.
So is there any potential for new articles for the Maytown meeting?
I haven't
This is
even,
my next question.
haven't really thought of it.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm just thinking of it tonight too, just thinking about this, you know,
You're all set for pickups and all set for trucks?
well, actually,
Well,
we
it's,
still,
uh,
I still.
the one truck.
We have the money for the dump truck, but the Mack versus the Freightliner, the Freightliner is on the Greater Boston's Police Council's, bid process where you don't have to get 3 bids for a vehicle, you can just
Okay.
go to them and get it. The problem is that Mack came below them, and that's not supposed to happen.
Oh, it's not?
They're supposed to be the lowest.
I tell you, they say Hanover loves them, so all I can say is that.
that's a Princess truck. Let's keep going with that. We should replace that pickup truck out there. A nice SUV.
Which one, the gray one?
Yeah.
Mhm.
That thing's,
Chris's truck,
Yeah.
the meter read truck, or whatever it is.
Yeah, we can.
We'll get another,
something else.
like,
We can change
get
that.
another one like Jerry's with a plow on it.
Whatever you guys think.
We'll put enough money in for it, and then,
you
don't get it, don't get it.
You're one of those vans like every other town's getting, so you've got everything in the van, you don't have to keep moving stuff.
No man. Oh. Did I say it?
No van?
Yeah, like-
Well,
like
you
one of those-
you gotta get a truck, it'd be a utility body, 'cause it's a lot easier to be accessible, you can just grab
that's like
anything
you
out
got
of it.
now, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we got too many of those now, we need something different.
Corvette.
I wouldn't mind a Suburban like the fire chief.
But he's a Tahoe.
No, sorry.
Tahoe.
Don't forget one thing, yeah. Okay, I think I've got my issues covered, but I think we've got to really pressure the planning board with memos because, you know, we've got the potential of Home Street coming in and,
What's that foundation up here on West Washington Street, next to Erdl's old house?
apparently he must have sold one of those lots there.
New
Huh?
house, a new house going in,
2 of them.
There's 2 there?
200.
How come when was the perk taken?
Oh, probably a couple of weeks ago.
No,
I did them back when I was on the Board of Health and they didn't
Oh, that's
pass.
beautiful. Did you see the soil up there?
Yeah, sure, I know what they did, they filled the goddamn thing in with good
Come
gravel.
on, you camera.
You talking with a horse?
The horses
That
are.
part, that
Yeah, I
part's
saw,
pretty
I
good.
saw the hole there.
But you've got
At
those,
least
you've
on
got,
one. Where they put the other
I'll
one?
bet you money you won't perk.
yeah, truck, Depot Village?
That's never stopped anyone in
Did
this
you mention
town.
that?
Yeah.
no.
I know, that's the
But
problem.
Yeah, that's going in, down on,
Phillip Street.
So where's the
Yeah.
second one
That's
going?
being activated?
I don't know.
Home Street Extension, Home Street, excuse me. What's across?
Where's Home Street
Station,
Extension?
Station Street,
Station Street's Depot Village.
yeah.
What's across from Home Street there?
Phillips.
I don't know, like, where the houses are. Across from Dahlberg's house. What's that street right there? I'm losing my mind.
Highland Terrace.
What?
Highland?
Is it Highland Terrace there?
That's Highland Terrace and there's
Where the hydrant got hit there?
Hillcrest Road?
Hillcrest.
Hillcrest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This house is going in there, going out to County Road.
There is?
Gonna try, yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a long run.
it is.
Hillcrest to County Road?
Yeah. It's Hillcrest. You go up Paul Street before.
Oh, I know what you're talking, I think, that's just not one, cause, I know what you're talking about. It's not where the Dahlbergs lives, you're talking about the other way,
Yeah,
the
across.
other street.
Yeah, across the street the other way.
Yeah, that's,
What is the name of the street? I can't remember it.
I know what you're talking about.
We just put a deposit on the land next to the McDonald's.
Oh, really?
Who did?
Oh, Grindel's old farmland?
Yeah, all the farmland.
Who bought that?
Bought it because it's
I
like
wanted
Brita.
to see
Brita
the,
put a bid on it.
I wanted to see the housing authority take that, because they need more, more housing for our old people.
Hmm.
Was it like was it 26 acres?
A lot of
There's something
acreage in
in
there,
there.
a lot of it's
26 acres in there?
conservation too.
Yeah, well,
That's
it is.
been-
It says
that's been
they
for sale
have
forever.
850 square foot of frontage, but you went in and it just went, it grows
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
and around, like behind McDonald's, it would back right up to
The
Meeting
housing
House
authority,
Lane.
Put
yeah.
a mark right by it?
I guess you put a bid on
We
it.
put a bid on it.
You know?
So some of these, I mean, we gotta really, open up more communication with the planning board and whatnot, as far as some of these developments going in.
Well, as far as that, there should be, and they shouldn't have,
Some
no
point in
building should be
time.
started until they get the base road in, and all the water and the gas and utilities, and the base road.
Well, we used to sign the building permits, right, Carol?
Mhm.
We don't do those anymore, do we?
Yeah.
And that's another issue, because we should be signing the building permits, so we can inspect the water services and get what the water department requires with the ties and, everything else. I mean, we used to sign the building permits, now we don't, so what happened there?
I think also too, I think in this memo to the planning, is anybody come to planning, they should refer them to the water department first. Everybody
they
should come
don't.
here first before they go anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because if we don't have the water for them, I mean, Carol just picked up some plans left in our mailbox for that housing development on,
Phillips Street.
Phillips Street. There's a 4-story housing development going up on Phillips Street, on the
Where
corner.
the antenna is,
Yeah, where the antenna is.
the industrial area.
Yeah. So, I mean, how
That's where
much,
Kenny Newcomb was gonna
right, so there's,
put their garage in.
they're like 2 and 3 bedroom units. I mean, so that's 2 and 3 people per unit. They knocked it down from 75 units to 45 units, but, I mean, there's still gonna
There's
be.
still a lot of
There's still a
water.
lot of water.
That's another, thing, down in Farm Extension.
We can't supply it. Maybe you should put a moratorium on it again.
Well, maybe we can-
Oh,
Tell them we don't have the water for them.
Because what are you pumping now? A day?
We're down, probably like
Yeah.
5.25, 550, somewhere around there.
And that's a 1,000,000-gallon tank, right?
Correct.
Is it filling up every night, even
Oh,
with the
yeah.
flush?
Yeah, we fill it up, but I mean, we have it shutting off at 38.5 and then turning back on at 35 feet. So we're not, obviously we're not draining the tank, but we only use, 3-4 feet of the tank. But the pumps are shutting down, so.
When we're done flushing, we'll change, we'll lower that too. The pumps don't run so often.
So in other words, that's basically changing the water, half the tank every day,
It's doing it more than that.
which is good.
Yeah. Yeah,
But if you had 2 tanks, you'd be getting a quarter.
well, you get less movement in each tank. Yeah, if you had 2 million storage, you'd get exactly half the.
All right, but then what happens if you're pumping 600,000 and 700,000 a day with all this new building?
Wow, that's,
That's gonna make up the difference.
sure.
So that it would work.
Yeah. But, and that's a common problem with towns, and depending on how much storage they have, the winter months croak them because there's not much movement, and then as soon as the weather gets nice, then the movement picks up, the consumption picks up. But it's all something to think about.
Well, I think we gotta send them
Yeah.
a strong message.
Yeah, we'll send them,
Do we do it all the meetings? Yeah, we did.
So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to cover tonight.
Anything else?
Well, that's it. That cloud, so that cloud up.
And if you got any resumes in?
yes, I've got 4.
And, is there a cutoff date on those?
30 days. That's how long we ran the ad. Yeah.
So when's that up? November
Two more
sometime?
weeks.
2 more weeks.
Yeah. Slim pickings,
Huh?
slim pickings.
Well, if nobody puts in a resume that they've got any licenses, we don't want them here.
Do they all have their license?
One person does. 2 people do.
Oh, yeah. We were gonna talk about this, but
No, but
I haven't really done much about it. I came up with an idea. You know, as far as what we talked previously about is the, you know, the different guys and the jobs and whatnot, and working on the classifications. Have you got a response from the lawyer or anything? As far as,
No.
that's what we'll have to
Well, you showed me one of them. Was that a background check you got on it?
No, no background.
What was that one? with the-
That was just from Google.
Oh, that was from Google?
Yeah.
But he didn't have any licenses either.
No, he did.
Oh, he did?
We'll have to continue that for the next meeting, I think.
Yeah, put it
Okay.
on the agenda for the next meeting.
do you want me to put it under executive session?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, probably, yeah.
I'll, okay.
You get toilet duty next week, Jerry, so.
Again?
If you only knew. We'll let you know.
Well, if nobody's got anything else,
We're good.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion 7:35.
Second.
And seconded by Gil, and all in favor, 4-0. Where's Mike lately?
I don't know.
Give it up?
I don't know where he was.
The next meeting's November 11th. November 15th, I should say.
Is that thing working, or is it not working, is it working?
Still live. So you close the meeting, or whatever.
We already
you
We
gonna
just
closed
do.
the
did.
meeting.
Just did.
You adjourned?
Yes.
What was that?
Stop busy.